The Golden State Warriors have been a deadly blow in recent years. When the team and Chris wanted to be together, they would be in the royal palace of the King dynasty. The disease always comes at critical moments. The team has been in the top flight since the start of last season, and they have been in the top flight since the start of last season. After the season ended, Sikri and Butler were ill. Butler was suspended for the season for his ASL home. Crane is not complaining about the civil war. The core of the Warriors is almost unfinished. The team was supposed to return to the Buddhist Games after Kerry returned. The first is the Battle of the Sexes. The result was a fight between actors and actresses. The team's goal is not easy to reach Budapest. The team suffered devastating injuries in the Battle of Buda. The season was cut short due to the season. The god of the glass is also known as Nujibal. The number of people leaving the country is very unstable. The Warriors certainly don't want to miss Kerry's last airplane. The vaccine is known to cause injuries. The first is that the idea of the greatest picture of the world is not theoretical. So this past year, how sad the Warriors are. The country is a targeted village. How many more games do they want to finish this season? The goal came very suddenly. The Warriors were unwilling to challenge yesterday's games. The goal was to score a goal in a 0-0 draw in the first leg. The first is the sweetie. The first is the firewall. He's got a few votes who have twisted his knee. The plane crashed into the ground. The face is painful. The team quickly came to visit. Chris also held hands. The situation at the time seemed not very optimistic. The results of the race show that the team was not able to win the race. The goal is to break the sword. The recovery cycle lasts about 9 to 12 months. This is a message for the current Warriors. The attack was deadly. We all know. The heroes would have gone to the army too. I'm not sure what happened to the kids. The main opposition factions have not been mentioned. The secondary front is basically the secondary front. The competition. The first is the first race in the world. The team is now back up. The goal is to get back into the army. The prospects for Kim State are a case in point. Fans who don't often care about Warriors. The players may not know much about the purpose of proving. He is a hero inside. The role of the younger generation is not important. In fact, it is. This season's goal is to be the Warriors. The first is the greatest day of the year. He is a major player in the world. He was shot and killed in the attack. He has fought 60 matches. 49 of them went to war. The score was 12.1 points. The third edition. 1.6 the main attack. The results of the survey were. The first data. All of this has made him a new career. I mean, this season is a career goal. The year of the outbreak. He is a hero. The first is the street of the world. The first is the battle of the sexes. The game is a free-to-play game. The goal is to be in the military. The video was shot in the middle of the night. The second is the second. The problem is that the production is very difficult. He is also a former football player. More than 40%. The film was shot in the city of San Francisco, California, and the film was shot in San Francisco. This side of the story is a testament to, he is on the track. The first is the ability to make money. He was injured yesterday. The goal has been hit at 23. The third edition. 3 groups attack. The first is the Triple Super 2. The first is the greatest day of the world. For the purpose. The main thing is to send money. The first is that the space is not just a ball of space. The goal of the Warriors for years. I'm not sure what I'm doing. The same coin is a strong reception. The first is the speed of the runway and the start of the race. The mine is not yet. The goal is to jump high. The first is the greatest day of the world. He also has a son named John. The best resistance to sensitivity. But if I could only get 3 points. The white man doesn't say what he wants. The first is the battle of the bones. The first is that the players who are able to score 3 points in the Warriors. The number of people who are. The purpose can be provided. Bettler is behind. The courageous and the uninspiring offensive. Look at this ball. He can remind you again. The first is that the country is in a state of absolute collapse. The only thing that I can say is that I'm not a big fan of the game. After watching the other station. The goal is to change the decision. The attack on the front of the Volga. The right hand is then provoked. The first is the firewall. Look at this ball again. The goal is to jump the Volga again. This time, it's only a straight line acceleration. The first time I saw a woman in the village, I was in a coma. A person who is. The game is a success story. The video is a bit of a shock to the public. The target fleet was unsuccessful. The first time I saw the video was in the video. The air is down. The new version of the game is again hidden from the home-wrapped lid. The last of the victims was a young man. The only thing that is really important is the Volga. The first is the Super Series. the only chance to fight back. The video was shot in the background. We can see the purpose of the content of 3. The first is the Band of the Dead. The first is the straight shots. The game is played by a team of players who use a ball as shotgun. The first is to use the ball to hit the ground. The first is to use the free link. He is also a prolific goalkeeper. The third capacity require. The team is now the last thing missing from a hard drive. This is why the purpose of blame is very important for human trafficking. But we had to accept the fact that he is now down too. After a hand injury. The scene of the incident is a scene of the man surrounded by a gun in the middle of the street. The scene of the gunman's hand injured in the camera. The purpose of the project is to build a new network of networks. He was severely injured. Keeping up with the news. Not like the team. The story of the tragic death of a young woman. The first time I saw a woman in a car, I was in a car. The purpose is not expressed. The following is a list of. The government has been trying to get rid of the corruption and the corruption. After his injury. We'll see again. The current opposition is. They are already dead. The problem is that the people who are in the country are not allowed to go to the polls. The lack of purpose. The first is that the 3-sided M1 will be used. The current set. The first is the Borstar Muskie and the core of a wave. The number of people who are isolated is increasing. The government has also been trying to get rid of the Taliban. It's actually the second place finish in the team. The third line. I'm not sure what the problem is. The team's handshake. I can't say. The victims of the violence. It started with the racing machines. The 24-25 race is just around the corner. The game is a great way to get rid of the LLA racing machines. He is not a public relations figure, but he is a public relations activist. But on the defensive side, the world is full of people. The only thing missing is the back seat. The first is the first time that the race has been postponed. The report also highlights the importance of the EU's efforts to improve the situation in Afghanistan. They're on a wheel, detailed and massive rockets. 4 wheels face off against the Grey Wolf. They started the next one on the classroom. I'm going to try to get back to school and get back to school. The results are in hand stopped in class. The game was not a hit. Less than Corey. The attackers were not able to operate at all. Butler blocks the news. The last sweat was only the second round. It's time to get to the race. The remains of the massacre continue. The first is the contradiction between the monks and the Koreans. The problem is not solved. The first is that the internet is not a place to be. The first is the firefighting. The first is the story of a young boy named Corey and his brother Butler. The show is a one-man show that has been ranked in the top 8 of the country's most popular shows. Butler on January 20. The Battle of the Bulge. The story of the SL. Season sales. The number of games in the world. The first is that the world is not a place for the people. This is not over. This is a month and a half ago. Corey also lost the mayoral battle. The money has been paid out so far. The new wave. His attendance rate. The government has already taken action. He is a very powerful player without his knowledge. The problem is that he doesn't play often. Most of the hands tremble. This is the case. The past is only here. The first time the race was held in the city. The first time the race was held in the city. The goal of the project is clear. The team that plays the number 1 game. This is the case. It is very rare. The disease is linked to the disease. The number of people who have been killed in the country has also increased. The people who were about to leave the country took the opportunity to copy them. The film is currently in theaters. The last time I saw a baby, I was in a coma. The number of people who are left behind in the desert is 1.5. The opportunity is amazing, of course. The game is scheduled to be played in the next few days, but only 10 games remain. The game is a bit of a draw. The first is to get a home advantage. Corey must pay immediately. If they don't, they can only prepare for the battlefield. The worst intentions of Fake 1 are to eliminate. The following is a list of the countries. After the payment of the fee, the airport may still need to restore the status of the competition. The first is that the number of people who are not in the same situation is higher than the number of people who are in the same situation. The first is that the people of the country are not happy. She was a woman who was suffering from depression. The first is that the people of the country are not allowed to vote. She has been able to join 5 dance groups in the team. The time spent on the project is specific. She was a patient of the family and she was a patient of the family. I'm not sure. The first is that the people of the country are not allowed to vote. The government has already announced that it will reopen the airport. I'm not going to give up this season. We still have reasons to expect the package to be delivered. After all, this is Corey. She is a young woman. The focus is on the game. The impact of the Superstars competition. The game is not a game for ordinary players. Of course, it is a breakdown. The sun and the speedboat are broken. If Corey can get the fan out, 12 out of 8 cases. If it were a war, it would be a war. Of course, this is a good idea. The first is that the gods must fight. The first time I saw the video was in the video game. This season is about to be over. It's true that some of the winds are still blowing. The team's focus, more is in the works. They've been on the subtitle line for a long time. The first is the firefighting campaign. The contract for the targeted youth is also good. He should not be a cash cow. The best option is to send Corbin away. It's just that it needs to involve third-party teams. Otherwise, the road. I'm not going to accept Colin. The program is based on Battler. The government has repeatedly denied the allegations. It's not going to fall apart. The government has also been criticized for its lack of transparency. This is just a case of the nickname of Jury Vivi. If you get a chance to get a subtitle, the first is the story of the young man. Anyone can send it away. What about the Buddha? This summer, he negotiated with the University of Johannesburg. The team will also be affected. The key silver coin for the future. If it were possible, a new year would be. The contract is worth about $20 million. The college discusses, let him be your partner. The video is about the first time I saw a video. The first is the following. The war is over and the war is over. But we also know how difficult it is to get a subtitle. The fans are good or bad. The bamboo pump is preparing for a water gap. I don't know. The sound of the summer corn. The first is the greatest day of the world. This is a good idea. The only thing I can say is the ruins of Golden State. The next step is to continue. After all, the worst of the worst. The first is the curse of the dead. The problem is that the brain is not working. The first is the Goldilocks. I'm a fan of the show. The series has been renewed for 2 consecutive seasons. The tragic events. The vote was over. Super championships like Carrie. The first is that the government is not going to be able to do anything. The game is also a valuable asset to the world of tennis. The first is the hope. The first is the greatest day of the world. So, what do you think? Is it bad enough? I'm not sure. The audience. I'm going to play football. Music channel. We are here.